Huh?
I won't mess with him now. I told you I got a job to do. If I keep messing with all you that lose your trash, you'll come to boot camp. Delta Company, 1st Recruit Training Battalion. Company Commander, Captain Boutros. Company First Sergeant Torres. Senior Drill Sergeant Platoon 1017. Staff Sergeant Can. Senior Drill Sergeant Platoon 1018. Let's go. Show them some love. Keep that Honor Platoon 1021. Let's go. Give it up for the Honor Platoon 1023. That's right, 1022. I'm sorry. The Honor Platoon is the 1021. Here we are, put your arms. Come on, show them some love, brothers. Yeah. Show them some love. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stay back behind the cones. Make sure we back up 17. 17. Make sure we step back behind the cones. Motivation check.
Yeah, he looked at us. Over there.
Like the last result at the end. He'll run by.
Mom, you ready to see me? Oh, he's here. He's over there.
Elbow time! Hammock! Let's go, shield for Sergeant Torres, leading the way, coming out of man. Lance Corporal Harris. Now they're going to have a lot of good move to the other side. They're going to go out to the general building, and they're going to make their way back. Yeah!
does.
For 12 weeks of stellar performance and hard work, in about an hour and a half, you will have legitimately earned the right and earned the title of United States Marine, and I congratulate you. I'd like to pause to put today a little bit of perspective for you as the newest Marine. When you're a drill instructor, senior drill instructor, you find your senior drill instructor, you find your series gunning and officers, you thank them for their incredible commitment of time and effort and energy. Number one is a Marine for 10, 12, 14 years service to this country, and also for the last 12 weeks making you into a Marine. And when you get back home on the streets of Maintown, USA, whether it's Ann Arbor, Michigan, Spokane, Washington, Albuquerque, you make sure you find your recruiter and thank him for opening up to you this wonderful opportunity so you can find self-confidence, self-discipline, self-reliance, and make yourself not only a United States Marine, but a better American citizen. My last comment to the parents and to the Marines, soon-to-be Marines here, is to put this whole episode in perspective.
You thought that was me up here, didn't you? You thought that was me, didn't you? That's my look-alike. When I feel like coming to work, I tell them to go in for me. Now, by accident, see, I'm a little darker, I'm a little taller than the drill master. That's the 1st Battalion drill master, by the way. Show him some love. All right, I'm paging Judith Patterson Murray. Judith Patterson. I'm going to start charging for all this stuff y'all keep losing. Judith Patterson. Come get your trash. I ain't going to mess with you. I don't have time to mess with you this time. Just drop $10 in the box on your way out. Where we at, Indiana? That's all the company unman for Indiana. That's all the representation he's gonna get. What a Davis fan. Where you at? Where we at, Indiana? Remember the company underman, he's representing Indiana, right? If you don't know what your state flag looks like, Indiana, here it is right here. Here you go, a little history class, geography class, whatever you want to call it. This is what your flag looks like, Indiana. I know you've been out of school for a long time, but this is what the company underman is representing Indiana. Where we at, Texas? Hey, every time I want to get pumped up, I say, where you at, Texas? Hey, where you at, Florida? Where you at, Florida? No, I'm talking, we represent. Hey, oh, you know what? Oh, who won the World Series this year? Oh, look out! Look out! Oh, yeah. Yeah, now I get you some kind of, I know San Antonio Spurs won the NBA championship and all that stuff. Yeah, all right, here we go. Last chance, we're going to answer questions for a couple of minutes. We're going to answer questions. So if you have a question, then I'm just going to start this short video. It's about 11 minutes. So the floor is open right now for questions. Where we at? Come on, questions. Yes, sir. This question is, can he give him a coin? Of course. Today is when we're going to make them do those push-ups. As soon as they get the Eagle Grove and anchor, this question is, can he give him the coin today? As soon as they do the Eagle Grove and anchor ceremony, then they belong to you until 1845 is when they to report back to their barracks. So at that time, I'm going to walk around and challenging all the recruits. You don't have no coin, we're going to do some push-ups today. The way I do it, I do push-ups with them. So they don't feel wrong. Yes, sir. 1845, 6:45. I keep saying 1845, 6:45 p.m. Liberty. Same as 1845, but 6:45 is when liberty ends. And they know they have their briefs. They know just when they need to be back. And guarantee you they would not be late going back because they still have one more day with the drill instructor.
That's fine. You can use it. I don't need it.
Okay, I was just corrected. They have a new time, 1700. 1700, that's right. 1700 is the new time. So they didn't even tell me that. 1700, so we took away a little bit. Oh, okay, time change. That's probably what did it. Because this is my first time doing it since daylight saving time, so they took that hour away. So 1700 is when they report back. So if they would have graduated last week, it would have been 1800. Then they would have been in 3rd Battalion. We didn't want that, right? All right. Yes, sir. Our process after graduation, this question is how long, you're going to be from the old school. How long did it take for them to our process? This is how long. Got it? That was quick, wasn't it? As soon as the drill instructor says dismiss, they our process. They go, you run out there and get them, the drill instructor go this way. You got another group to get. But that's just how fast it goes. They already processed out as we speak. They're done. They're done. Their last event was on Tuesday, was final drill. They're done. They our process, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead and have it for 10 days. Answer your question, sir? Questions? Yes, ma'am. You stand up and talk to me. I had to come police up your trash. You want to sit down and talk to me after I had to find your purse? You want to sit on your butt and talk to me? You got to be crazy. Get on like this right now.
Yeah!
You know we don't allow no recruits. When they come here, we don't allow no one to sit down and talk to us. Well, of course, you can sit down and talk to us. Of course, you're not recruits, but that's what we tell them to stand up. You're going to notice that they're going to answer you, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, to everyone. You're going to be shocked. If he never say yes, ma'am, to you, guess what? You're not getting that same one you had 3 months ago. He say this, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, and all that good stuff. Yeah, believe it or not. It's amazing what we can do in 3 months. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ready to see your sons become Marines?
Yeah!
Some of you didn't clap, so maybe you're not too happy at all. So we're going to talk for a few minutes. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what your son went through here, and then we're going to introduce the drill instructors at Company D to you. And I hope that when we do introduce those drill instructors that you've saved up enough applause to lift the roof, so to speak. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Pudrock. I am the commanding officer of Company D. Some 3 months ago, Company D began the task of molding 507 civilians in the United States Marines. Recruits of Company D come from a variety of backgrounds, ranging in ages from 17 to 28. Their average age is 19. 96% of them are high school graduates. Within the company, we have nationalities from Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Vietnam, Nicaragua, Guatemala, the Philippines, Fiji Islands, Honduras, Canada, and South Korea. However, regardless of their backgrounds, they all came here with a common goal: to become one of the few, the proud, a United States Marine. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., you will witness the results of those efforts on the parade deck. We're certain you'll be impressed. Simply put, these men have changed. Before we continue, though, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the upcoming events of today and tomorrow. Immediately following this presentation, you're invited to join us on the parade deck to witness your loved one receive the coveted Eagle Globe and Anchor. Following the emblem ceremony, the new Marines will be dismissed on base liberty from approximately 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. This will be a good opportunity for your Marine to show you around the base and tell you about the training that you received here. Tomorrow morning will begin at 8 a.m. with the morning color ceremony at Pendleton Hall, which is located on the far end of the parade deck that's out here. The company will be preparing for the graduation ceremony and unfortunately will not be able to attend. However, I do encourage you to attend. It's a motivating display of military pride, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it a great deal. The graduation ceremony follows immediately after the morning color ceremony. The graduation ceremony takes place at 10 a.m. You may want to get to your seats a little bit early to ensure that you have the best possible view of your Marine. All right, now that we've talked a little bit about the upcoming events, let me take you on a brief journey and show you what your Marine went through in order to earn the title, the United States Marine. Former Commandant of the Marine Corps, General James L. Jones, once stated that the most important thing the Marine Corps does is make Marines. Our sole purpose here at the Recruit Training Regiment is to transform your loved one into a United States Marine. The transformation process began when he first met his recruiter, and then it continued throughout the time he spent here. This transformation began in earnest on the famous yellow footprints at receiving barracks, where your recruit was administratively processed and began training. The events during those first few days as a United States Marine recruit included a haircut and his initial uniform issue. Having been screened by medical and dental personnel, he was given his first physical fitness evaluation, or the initial strength test, or IST. To continue training, recruits must do a minimum of 2 pull-ups, 44 crunches in 2 minutes, and run 1.5 miles in 13 minutes and 30 seconds or less. Soon after the IST, your recruit was introduced to the drill instructors of Company D, where he began learning about the basics of military life. Now, I can assure you, this was an introduction we will never forget. During the next 4 weeks, known as first phase, your recruit was introduced to the Marine Corps way of life. He received initial instruction in our core values, the M16A2 service rifle, and close order drill. Your recruit received extensive instruction on a wide range of academic subjects, including first aid and Marine Corps history. Close order drill is a critical tool that the drill instructors use to instill discipline, esprit de corps, and teamwork within their platoons. Physical training also fosters teamwork and esprit de corps within the unit. The physical training program your recruit received is a progressive program designed to build physical strength, flexibility, and endurance. Your recruit received extensive bayonet instruction that culminated with bugle stick training. Bugle stick training simulates bayonet fighting and allows the recruits to practice close combat techniques they have learned. He ran the obstacle course numerous times in order to prepare himself for the confidence course. The confidence course gave your recruits the confidence to overcome challenging obstacles like the A-frame and the slide for life, which you see here. Your recruit was instructed in the basics of Marine Corps martial arts. Foundations to this program are physical, mental, and character discipline. These disciplines develop the warrior ethos and enhance combat effectiveness. After 36 hours of training, each recruit earned his tan belt. This is the first of 5 martial arts qualification belts that they can pursue throughout their Marine Corps careers. Throughout recruit training, drill instructors teach the recruits the basic tenets of Marine Corps leadership, thus preparing them for future challenges in the operational forces. Our core values of honor, courage, and commitment are instilled during the training cycle through more than 28 hours of instruction. Core values discussions teach the meaning of personal responsibility, respect for human dignity, and the need to remain true to the high standards of personal conduct demanded by the Marine Corps. Having successfully completed first phase, Your recruit began the second phase of training, which occurs at Weapons and Field Training Battalion, Edson Range, Camp Pendleton, California. During the first 2 weeks at Edson Range, your recruit spent more than 40 hours receiving basic marksmanship instruction. Basic marksmanship training culminated on qualification day when he fired 50 rounds from distances of 200, 300, and 500 yards at targets of varying size. The men of Company D firmly believe in the saying that every Marine is a rifleman. Their rifle score serves as an enormous sense of pride. The company averaged 214 points out of a maximum 250. After successfully qualifying with the service weapon, your recruit advanced to the next phase of weapons training. The third week at Edson Range provides an additional 40 hours in field firing instruction. Your recruit learns to fire his weapon in many different combat conditions, such as while wearing a gas mask and full combat equipment. In addition to field firing training, recruits are taught basic field skills. He learned how to survive in the nuclear, biological, and chemical environment. This was probably one of the more memorable experiences of his time. Your recruit also learned how to eat field rations or meals ready to eat. They're commonly referred to as MREs. And they will be ready for home cooking when they get home. Your recruit's last week at Camp Pendleton culminated with its greatest physical and mental challenge, the Crucible. The Crucible was conducted over the course of 3 days, and for approximately 56 consecutive hours. Throughout the Crucible, your recruit hiked a total of 40 miles, received less than 10 hours of sleep, and ate only 3 meals during the entire training event. Now, the Crucible is composed of 8 core events and 12 warrior stations. Each warrior station is named after a Marine Corps hero. Crucible events test your recruit's mental toughness as well as his ability to work as a team with other members of his squad. Other events involve physically demanding simulated combat missions. All stations are physically and mentally challenging. None of them can be completed alone. Crews must work together to accomplish all stations and events as a team. The final event of the Crucible is a 10-mile hike up the infamous Grim Reaper. Now, after the Crucible, your recruit was then ready to enter the third and final phase of recruit training. The focus of third phase is the graded events and transitioning to the next step in the entry-level training process, the School of Infantry. In his 9th week of training, your recruit began water survival training. This is intended to increase his confidence and ability to survive in the water. He mastered techniques to maneuver in the water under a full combat load and developed the skills to survive extended periods of time in the water. It's a very challenging week for many recruits because they come here having never learned how to swim. However, 100% of Company D qualify. The 10th week of training is dedicated to small unit leadership. This is the first time your recruit was allowed to accomplish small tasks without the constant supervision of your drill instructor. Additionally, in the 10th week, your recruit focused on the proper skills necessary to stand and carry your guard as a member of a guard force. This is a skill that every recruit must learn before graduation. Displaying increased confidence, your recruit learned how to rappel down the 5-story rappel tower. Instructions began with recruits rappelling down the 54-foot wall and finally from a simulated helicopter. Next, your recruit focused on the upcoming graded events. Each recruit must pass a series of graded events and graduation requirements. The first graded event is the written and practical examination. This is a chance to show mastery over the general military subjects which your recruit had been instructed on over the previous 10.5 weeks. Delta Company had an average score of 96.8% and exceeded the regimental average. Next, your recruits took the final physical fitness test. The PFT tested the recruit's total fitness and measured his overall physical improvement. The recruit's hard work and dedication pays off as he strives to get the maximum score possible by performing 20 pull-ups, 100 crunches in 2 minutes or less, and a 3-mile run in 18 minutes or less. Delta Company averaged 13 pull-ups, 105 crunches, and a 3-mile run in 21 minutes and 17 seconds. This comprises an average PFT score of 243 and is a first-class PFT by Marine Corps standards. Next, your recruit stood his third and final uniform inspection, the Battalion Commander's inspection. The Battalion Commander's inspection is the last inspection. He observes recruits' progress by evaluating their confidence, knowledge, and bearing. His is the final seal of approval before earning the title, Marine. Graded events culminate with the final drill evaluation. This is a chance for the recruits to compete as a team, and it's a great moment of pride for both the recruits and the drill instructors. The emblem ceremony is the highlight of third phase. Here, your recruit receives a coveted eagle-loaded anchor from his drill instructors, signifying that he is now and will always be a United States Marine. Once again, I invite you to view this ceremony on the parade deck immediately following this presentation. Graduation week culminates with your new Marine completing his final processing and preparing for his graduation parade, which takes place tomorrow morning. All right, we've talked about what your young man went through in order to earn the title Marine. Now I'm going to introduce to you the Senior Enlisted Marine of Company D, Company First Sergeant Torres.
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm First Sergeant Torres, Company First Sergeant, and Senior Enlisted Marine of Company D. Today I have the honor of introducing the drill instructors of Company D, the men who have been directly responsible for the training and welfare of these young men. Drill instructors are a superior group of professionals. They are some of the finest Marines in the ranks of our Corps today, and were carefully screened and trained for this assignment. Drill instructors undergo 11 weeks of training at drill instructor school in preparation for the privilege of making Marines. They work a minimum of 90 hours a week to instill in each of these young men the basics of being a United States Marine. Most of the drill instructors are married and have families of their own that share their hard work and sacrifice during the 3-month schedule. Some parents believe that these Marines are miracle workers. We would insist, however, that our task would be impossible to accomplish if it were not for the efforts of our fellow Marines, the recruiters, and the skillful insight, patience, and wisdom of you, the family and friends that assisted us prior to and throughout the training cycle. Without further delay, I would like to proceed with their introduction. Please hold your applause until all the names have been introduced. Series Gunnery Sergeant for Elite Series 1017 is Staff Sergeant John F. Gibson from Winchester, Tennessee. Senior Drill Instructor for Platoon 1017 is Staff Sergeant Mark Can from Thompsonsville, Kentucky. He is assisted in his duties by Staff Sergeant Benito J. Chavez from Clovis, New Mexico, Sergeant Joseph Oliva from Ceres, California, Sergeant Jamie R. Ramirez from Los Angeles, California. The Senior Drill Instructor for Platoon 1018 is Staff Sergeant Floyd A. Miles, Jr. from Huntsville, North Carolina. He is assisted in his duties by Staff Sergeant Dwayne K. Harrison from Pelham, North Carolina, Sergeant Robert L. Hayes from Norfolk, Virginia, Sergeant Daniel R. Blaze from Barberton, Ohio. The Senior Drill Instructor for Platoon 1019 is Staff Sergeant Joseph Vilka from Westchester, New York. His assistant is Duty 5, Sergeant Westfield Turner. The Series Gunnery Sergeant for Fall Series 1021 is Gunnery Sergeant Michael Q. Ratana from Los Angeles, California. The Senior Drill Instructor for Platoon 1021 is Staff Sergeant Arturo Rodriguez Jr. from El Paso, Texas. His assistant is Duty 5, Staff Sergeant Nathan J. Orndorff from Alliance. If there is any way that I may be of some assistance, please let me know. Once again, here's Staff Sergeant Reynolds, who will give you some further information about your visit to Fort Depot. Thank you.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Now, I'm still trying to figure this crowd out, because when they introduced the last drill instructor, I noticed that everyone over here in wheelchair was the only one standing up. Then after a while, they caught on. But I'm still trying to figure out what's going to happen right now. We're going to move on to the bleachers. Remember what I told you?
Well, that's this whole crowd is ours. Yeah, the emblem of the army, the flag at the bottom, 62 and 33.
Classical literature, big band, and top 40 favorites, and of course, the marches of John Philip Sousa. The earliest photographic history of a Marine band in San Diego dates back to 1915, when the 4th Marine Regiment Band was posted at Balboa Park. Over the next 30 years, as the mission of the Marine Corps presence in San Diego changed, the band's title also changed to reflect its role aboard the base. Then, in 1948, when the band was officially recognized as Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego, the band was given the title Marine Corps Recruit Depot Band. In recent years, to better identify with the missions of recruiting and public relations in San Diego and the Western United States, the band's title was updated to Marine Band San Diego. Since then, the band has developed an outstanding reputation for presenting the finest in military music. The 45 Marines in the band perform in 6 different ensembles: a concert band, show band, brass quintet, party band, jazz combo, and marching band. Marine Band San Diego performs at military and civilian ceremonies and events and provides honors for visiting dignitaries. In order to encourage music education and aid in the recruiting of new musicians, the band is active in providing clinics and concerts for high school and college musicians throughout Southern California, serving as a musical role model for developing musicians. Among the band's most popular performances are the Pasadena Tournament of Roses Parade, Holiday Bowl Parade, and annual Summer Concert Series. The band also appears at professional sporting events such as San Diego Chargers, Padres, and Gulls home games. The band has performed with some of Hollywood's biggest stars, including Bob Hope, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Major Dad Gerald McCraney. Recent appearances include Bob Hope's 100th birthday celebration, the Suzuki Rock and Roll Marathon, the California Junior College State Football Championship, and the popular game show Wheel of Fortune. Altogether, the band performs at nearly 400 commitments per year. Today, Marine Band San Diego is under the leadership of Staff Sergeant M.A. July, enlisted conductor, and Staff Sergeant Sean Schmidlin, drum major.
Town 1018, all present.
Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated.
Today's a great day for us all as we get to see these young men of Delta Company become a special breed that is known around the world from sea to sea and shore to shore. Please excuse me as I turn away to address the company. Delta Company. In a few minutes, my drone instructors will present you with an Eagle Globe and anchor, at which time you will become a United States Marine. But before you receive our emblem, I would like to share with you some of the history behind it. In 1868, our 7th Commandant, Brigadier General Jacob Zeeland, adopted our Marine Corps emblem. The emblem consisted of an eagle with its wings spread, sitting on the globe of the Western Hemisphere with an anchor in the background. The symbol of the eagle represents our glorious nation. The globe stands for worldwide service. And the anchor represents our Marine Corps naval heritage and tradition. This emblem, which Marines throughout the world wear today, is the one that you receive with the completion of your graduation requirement and the transformation into the United States Marine. You will soon join the ranks of fellow Marines serving around the world and will represent everything that is great about our country and Corps. Now I want you to give thought to the many challenges you have endured while in boot camp, and for the ones you continue to face and conquer in the future. I also want you to give thought to the many sacrifices made by those who have come before you for the faithful and honorable service to Corps and country. When you receive your emblem, you'll become a member of our nation's 911 force in readiness. The Marines are the first call, the first to arrive, the first to fight and win. Wear your Corps coveted emblem with pride and honor, not only on your cover, but also in your heart. Remember, once a Marine, always a Marine. You'll carry the emblem with you forever. Congratulations and Semper Fidelis.
Pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You get down there and try to get a photo when he gets his anchor. Okay.
I'm sorry.
gentlemen, on behalf of the officers and drill instructors of 1st Recruit Training Battalion, we present to you America's newest Marines, the Marines of Company D.
Yeah! Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Marine hymn. Yeah! Hello, 1018! Dismiss! Yeah!
Drills, good morning, colors.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Marine Corps Recruits Depot's Friday morning color ceremony. The depot, which consists of 388 acres, is the Corps' oldest West Coast installation and has recruiting information dating back to 1921. This year, more than 17,000 young men will successfully complete our rigorous 3-month training cycle and depart the depot having earned the title Marine. We extend a warm welcome to the family and friends of Marines graduating from Company D, Anna Staff Sergeant Lance A. Rubin, Anna Staff Sergeant Lance A. Rubin, recruiting station, Indianapolis. Staff Sergeant Rubin recruited Lance Corporal Martin R. Harris, the company honor band for Company D. We also extend a warm welcome to today's parade reviewing officer, Sergeant Major Garrett G. Truscott, United States Marine Corps, retired. Sergeant Major Truscott's highlights include a tour in Vietnam, Operation Desert Shield, and Desert Storm. Sergeant Major Truscott's awards include the Legion of Merit, 2 Meritorious Service Medals, and numerous other awards that span 30 years of dedicated service to the Marine Corps. This week in Marine Corps history, the American frigate Philadelphia is captured by the Barbary pirates. For several years, the United States and European powers paid tribute to the states of Morocco, Tunis, Algeria, and Tripoli in return for a safe passage within the Mediterranean. The ruler of Tripoli demanded an increase in the payments made by the United States. The United States refused, and thus, Tripoli declared war. In response, the United States Navy, consisting of only 4 ships, was sent to protect the American interest in the Mediterranean. The Navy was hard-pressed to protect all the U.S. merchant ships, given the multitude of private vessels. Eventually, the Barbary pirates were able to capture the U.S. frigate Philadelphia. Determined to regain the lost crew and reaffirm the American position, Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon combined forces with Prince Hamid Bey, the deposed leader of Tripoli, who at the time was exiled in Egypt. The combined army marched over 600 miles to the Libyan desert and arrived outside the city of Tripoli. Presley O'Bannon then sent a message demanding the surrender of the city. The mayor refused. Early the next morning, the Marines attacked, with Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon personally leading the assault. Although sustaining numerous casualties, the Marines continued to press the enemy and eventually drove them from the city walls. By late afternoon, the Marines had complete control of the city. At approximately 4 o'clock, Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon raised the stars and stripes above Bay Castle. This was the first time the American flag had flown over a captured fortification in the Old World. In appreciation of his services, Prince Bey presented Lieutenant O'Bannon with a Mameluke sword. This sword serves as a model for the swords carried to this day by all Marine Corps officers. Once again, in the face of overwhelming odds, Marines have earned their place in history as the world's finest fighting force, the United States Marine Corps. Now taking his position at the head of the formation is Commanding General Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego and the Western Recruiting Region, Brigadier General John M. Paxton Jr. Accompanying Brigadier General Paxton is a Sergeant Major Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Sergeant Major in the Western Recruiting Region, Sergeant Major Frank Foley. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the marching on of the colors and remain standing for our national anthem. It is proper etiquette during the national anthem for all ceremony attendees to place their right hands over their hearts, and for men in the audience with headgear to please remove it.
Strike 8 bells and sound morning colors!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The commanding
from the Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, and our traditional Friday morning colors ceremony. And one more time, I want to see if we're better yesterday. Where's Delta Company?
Yeah!
Come on, where's Delta Company? I know you got more.
Yeah!
Welcome aboard to the parents and family and friends of Delta Company. They're here to see their young men and our next generation of Marines graduate today. As I said yesterday to those who I had the pleasure to meet and speak with, my congratulations to each and every one of you for the fine jobs you've done raising your sons and grandsons and for lending them to us, and we guarantee you we're going to give you back better than you gave them to us. So thanks for being here. Today is a very special day. Congratulations again. Fridays are special days aboard the depot. It's a chance to gather the family, and we do something not unique necessarily, but certainly special. Friday colors all over the Marine Corps, all over the world. Sometimes in a fighting hall, sometimes on the fantail of a ship. Right now, perhaps in Afghanistan and Iraq. But we get a chance to celebrate special here at the depot every Friday. We couldn't do it without some unique Marines and unique skills that are here today. If you would please, I'd like you to help me in recognizing Marine Band San Diego today under the directorship of Staff Sergeant Bezdek and the United States Marine Color Guard from the depot who make this ceremony special. Today we're going to recognize three special Marines. One I will single out here in just a few minutes, and he's going to be our parade reviewing officer here later today. And we have two special recognitions from Marines who are stationed here at the depot.
But these three individuals only represent the family writ small. I'd like to introduce the family at large, if I may. There's between 10,000 and 11,000 Marines and sailors and civilian Marines that are affiliated with the depot in the Western Recruiting Region. They're represented this morning by the small formation in front of you. We have about 11,000 folks in 6 subordinate commands. The largest of the three and the most close to the flagpole, if you will, are here today. On my immediate left is Colonel Anna Smythe from Headquarters and Service Battalion. First Sergeant Major Rose is with us today, too. But these great Marines provide the logistics support, the fiscal support, the public affairs support, all the ceremonial support, the operations, engineering, food services, everything that happens around the depot that makes sure your young men get fed, get clothed, get all the support they need so that we can train them and turn them into United States Marines. They do a great job 365 days a year. We're real proud that they're here. So that's H&S Battalion. The second unit in the center is the one that you're perhaps most familiar with, and certainly your sons have been most familiar with for the last 12 weeks. They're recognized by those distinctive campaign covers in the second deck and those smiling, gregarious, easy to get along with staff non-commissioned officers. These are the Marines, and in particular the drill instructors and senior drill instructors of the Recruit Training Regiment. At the head of their formation today is Major Bill Wishmeyer. These are great Marines who work 7 by 24 around the clock all the time to take the great young men in America and mold them into United States Marines. They do a superb job. You will find that out if you haven't already when you see your sons this afternoon. I've had the pleasure of working with the product that they generate for the last 30 years, and I can't think of a fine group of Marines to be associated with the folks at RTR and drill instructors here at the depot. So congratulations, RTR. The final group on my right is the Western Recruiting Region, and in this particular case represented by one of the largest and the closest subordinate commands, the 12th Marine Corps District. Colonel Angie Salinas is at the head of that formation, and also Major Farley is here today, too. They do a great job on the streets of Maintown, USA, finding those young men of character and caliber who want to come into the Marine Corps. And many of them don't know they want to come in. It's just kind of a hidden dream that they've had they've never really expressed. And these great recruiters bring out that hidden dream. And then they schedule them and bring them down here, and the next thing you know, we have tankers, and we have pilots, and we have Amtrackers, and all those great things. But these great Marines out here, again, they're on 7 by 365, too, around the Marine Corps. In this particular case, they work anywhere from Chicago and Indianapolis all the way out to Honolulu, and from down in San Antonio all the way up to Anchorage. So we're delighted to have these great Marines with us today to do the recruiting in this particular case, 12th Marine Corps District. Congratulations to you. You just heard a minute ago about a very special recruiter that we have with us. He is from Recruiting Substation Anderson and Recruiting Station Indianapolis. The Staff Sergeant Grubin is here because he was responsible for helping convince the heart and the mind of a certain Lance Corporal Harris to come into the United States Marine Corps. And Lance Corporal Harris, as just mentioned by his rank, instead of being a private at PFC, he's a meritorious Lance Corporal and an honor grad down at Delta Company today. So I'd like to recognize first Staff Sergeant Grubin. Congratulations. Good to have you with us. And although I didn't have the pleasure to meet him, I would like to know if the Harris family is here today. Not yet, but we'll see them at the parade formation. They are the parents of the honor grad, the honored honor grad. Okay, two other things. In a minute, you're going to meet Sergeant Scarfing, and you're going to meet Lance Corporal Guerra. Sergeant Scarf is from up at Weapons Field Training Battalion. I had the pleasure of knowing him ever so briefly up at 1st Marine several years ago. He joined as a rifleman, came out of California, came in the Marine Corps, was a rifleman, was an automatic rifleman, was a fire team leader, was a squad leader, and eventually as a sergeant, as only a sergeant, was a platoon sergeant in the 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines. He made 2 deployments with different MUSOC units, Expeditionary Units, Special Operations Cable from the West Coast into the Persian Gulf and in the Western Pacific. He had a stellar career as a Marine infantryman over there. He re-enlisted. He went to Weapons and Field Training Battalion, where he was a marksmanship instructor, now, or first a coach rather, now a primary marksmanship instructor. So much you get a flyover from Southwest Air today. Okay, Sergeant Scarf is now a primary marksmanship instructor up at Weapons Field Training Battalion up at Edson Range, Camp Pendleton. He's been responsible for qualifying 98% of his 159 shooters during the last quarter. And for that, he's been recognized as the Marine Non-Commissioned Officer of the Quarter here at the depot. And we congratulate him, and you'll see him in just a minute.
We're also going to recognize Lance Corporal Guerra. Lance Corporal Guerra is a little unique in the Marine Corps. We tell you in the Marine Corps, if you join the Marine Corps, you're going to see the world. Well, Lance Corporal Guerra is from right up the road here. No, I apologize. He's from Houston, Texas, so I guess we got him out. So we pulled him out of Texas. We sent him out here to Recruit Depot in San Diego. We trained him up, and we made him an administrative clerk. He's an 0151. He works on our pay and records. Well, Lance Corporal Guerra is being recognized for just a stellar performance handling all the permanent change of station orders, the temporary additional duty, and all the fiscal and travel claims for all the Marines here at the depot, and having an extremely high acceptance rate for his diary entries and low error rate, and for that reason making sure all the Marines are properly paid. Because of his stellar performance, he's been recognized by GEICO, by USAA, by the Marine Corps League, by the Marine Corps Association, and in addition, before the birthday ball, he's going to get meritoriously promoted to non-commissioned officer ranks and be a corporal in the Marine Corps for the birthday ball next week. So we commend Lance Corporal Guerra also. We talked for 2 minutes here, ever so briefly, first about the new Marines, about Delta Company, about how proud we are of you and your sons. Then we had a chance to introduce some Marines who are standing on the yellow footprints here doing great things in the Marine Corps, be they the Western Recruiting Region or the Depot. I'd like to talk about the third part of the family. We have former Marines who serve around the world, have served around the world, and have retired. Have hung up their cleats, if you will, or in this particular case, put their K-bar in the footlocker. For just a moment, if I could have all the former Marines in the audience, please stand and be recognized. All the former Marines. These are great Americans, great servicemen, and I would certainly never diminish the wonderful accomplishments, and for that, I'm going to ask the second thing. We usually recognize Marines here, but we're getting close to Armistice Day. I said this yesterday at the Moto thing. 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month of the year, the war to end all wars. And it never happened. And of course, we know that it never will happen. We've got some great soldiers, sailors, airmen, merchant mariners here in the audience, too. How about those who serve their country wearing a different uniform? If you'll please stand to be recognized, too. Great to have you all. Thanks very much for your service. We heard a minute ago about today in history. We talked about Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon and the Mameluke sword. We're going to cut the Marine Corps birthday ball cake around the world on the 10th of November, and it's going to start next week. I want you to know that to this day, when you cut the birthday ball cake, you don't cut it with a knife, you don't cut it with a spatula, you don't cut it with your hand, even though we're Marines, okay? You cut it with a sword. If you're a non-commissioned officer, staff non-commissioned officer, you use the NCO sword. And if you're an officer, you use the Mameluke sword. The Mameluke sword that the Pasha in Durn Tripoli presented to Second Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon is still in use. It is the oldest weapon in the arsenal of any military service in the United States military. Officers to this day still carry the Mameluke sword. And on the 10th of November, to remember that we're a band of brothers and that we're forged in combat, we still cut the birthday cake with a Mameluke sword. So if any of you are here next Wednesday and you happen to see the cake cutting ceremony, or you're out with your Marine Corps League and some of your friends, that's what we're going to do starting next week when we celebrate our 228th birthday. When we celebrate the 228th birthday, we also recognize former Marines. You just had a chance to see all of them stand. I have the special privilege today introducing one who's very close to me and is a parade reviewing officer today. I'd like Sergeant Major Gary Trescott to please stand up. Sergeant Major Trescott. You got a round of ovation. I didn't even introduce you, Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major Trescott and I had the rare privilege, for his 30 years of service, I had the pleasure of knowing him almost all 30 years, and we served together twice. He is here in the area. He is currently a police officer up in Oceanside, California. As you heard from the announcer today, though, he distinguished himself for 30 years in the Marine Corps. He served in Vietnam. He served in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. All right, Sergeant Major, you get the United flyover, not Southwest, United, all right? Sergeant Major Trescott did everything he can do as an infantryman in the Marine Corps, starting as a rifleman and an automatic rifleman. You just heard, fire team leader, squad leader, platoon sergeant, company gunnery sergeant, company first sergeant, battalion sergeant major, regimental sergeant major. In addition to that, he was a battalion sergeant major 3 times, 3 different units, and a regimental sergeant major twice, 2 different units. He was a battalion sergeant major here on the drill field for a recruit training battalion. He was a battalion sergeant major for an artillery battalion. He was a battalion sergeant major for an infantry battalion. An infantry battalion that deployed. He was a company first sergeant in combat, Desert Shield, Desert Storm with 1st Marines. He was a regimental sergeant major in 11th Marines, the largest artillery regiment in the West Coast. He was a regimental sergeant major with 1st Marines. I had the unique privilege and the rare honor of serving with Sergeant Major Trescott twice. As a meritoriously promoted gunnery sergeant, he left the drill field the first time and went out to barracks duty in Washington, D.C. at 8th and I, our oldest post in the Corps. He did a stellar job there, and I had the chance to meet him in 1980. 20 years later, we had a chance to serve together again up at 1st Marines when he was a regimental sergeant major. And I can tell you there are literally thousands of Marines walking around the Marine Corps. Certainly thousands who graduated from here on the parade deck in Shepherd Field who had the benefit of his skills and his knowledge and his leadership. Thousands more who served around the Marine Corps who are better Marines and better men because of Sergeant Major Gary Trescott. He's going to have the chance to take the X and review the parade today. I'd like you to recognize him, but more importantly, he represents the Sergeants Major for 228 years who have provided the backbone of the Marine Corps and that fine staff non-commissioned officer leadership. I know Sergeant Major Jim Deaver is sitting beside him. We served together too. He was a battalion sergeant major when Sergeant Major Trescott was there. But these two individuals, and in particular today, our parade reviewing officer, represent all that's best in America. And those folks who come in expecting to spend 3 years and dedicate their life and their talents, and in many cases their lives, to making sure America is free and safe and Americans are better people. So please join me in recognizing all the Sergeants Major, but today's reviewing official, Sergeant Major Gary Trescott. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for being here. For those of you that are with us for the graduation, one more time, where's Delta Company?
Yeah!
Okay. To all those Marines in the audience, happy 228. Have a great day. Have a good night.
Today, we had the pleasure of recognizing some of the depot's outstanding Marines. Two of these Marines were selected as non-commissioned officer and Marine of the Quarter. Sergeant Jonathan C. Scarfy, Weapons and Field Training Battalion, was selected as non-commissioned officer of the Quarter, and Lance Corporal David E. Guerra, Headquarters Company, Headquarters and Service Battalion, was selected as Marine of the Quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Attention to orders. The Commanding General, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Western Recruiting Region, San Diego, California. Sergeant Jonathan C. Scarfy, United States Marine Corps. Selection as non-commissioned officer of the quarter, 4th quarter, fiscal year 2003. While serving as primary marksmanship instructor, Weapons and Field Training Battalion, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Western Recruiting Region, San Diego, California. Sergeant Scarfy's stellar performance and extraordinary efforts contributed immeasurably to the accomplishment of the depot's mission. His mature judgment, unremitting commitment to excellence, and exemplary service earned him the respect and admirations of fellow Marines and was instrumental in selection as non-commissioned officer of the quarter. Sergeant Scarfy's conspicuous professionalism, unswerving dedication to duty, reflect great credit upon himself, and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. Signed, J. M. Paxton, Jr., Brigadier General, United States Marine Corps, Commanding General. The Commanding General, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Western Recruiting Region, San Diego, California. Lance Corporal David E. Guerra, United States Marine Corps. Selection as Marine of the Quarter, 4th quarter, fiscal year 2003. While serving as permanent change of station clerk, temporary additional duty clerk, and travel claim chief, Consolidated Personnel Administrative Center, Headquarters Company, Headquarters and Service Battalion, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Western Recruiting Region, San Diego, California. During this period, Lance Corporal Guerra performed his duties in a truly efficient, reliable, and professional manner. His exceptional dedication, uncommon initiative, and steadfast devotion to duty earned him the respect of his seniors and juniors alike, and was instrumental in the selection as Marine of the Quarter. Lance Corporal Guerra's outstanding professionalism, exemplary performance reflected great credit upon himself, the Marine Corps, and the United States Naval Service. Signed, J.M. Paxton, Jr., Brigadier General, United States Marine Corps, Commanding General. At a previous ceremony held earlier this morning, both Marines received various gifts from respectable local agencies, such as Marine Corps Association, Marines Memorial Club, Men's Marines Corps League, San Diego County Women's Council of Navy League, USAA, Geico Direct, Disneyland, Freedom Furniture, and Pizza Hut. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for Marine and NCO of the Quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the retiring of the colors and playing of the Marines hymn.
Down the colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending this morning's color ceremony. We cordially invite you to visit our...
You remember all that stuff?
Big bag.
They gave you a dictionary. The UAM. No,
I'm in there though. Oh.
Foreman. That's you, Corey. And look, they're cheating on our best. Finance who served with them. That's not right.
Yeah.
graduation from boot camp. Approximately 44 weeks each year for the past 82 years, new Marines have departed San Diego for service with units of the Marine Corps around the globe. The Marine Corps has played an active role in San Diego history ever since the Marines from the sloop of war Cyane seized Old Town during the Mexican-American War in 1846. Marines were stationed here from 1921, when most of the buildings here were constructed. These buildings, known as the Arcade, were designed by the world-famous architect. The marching units are now being called to attention, and the adjutant's command and sound adjutant's call will begin today's parade. Marching today's parade are the 507 graduated Marines of Company D. Recruit training comprises subject requirements for these basic Marines to function effectively in garrison, are trained in rudimentary physical fields and combat skills, and practice the personal and professional traits which distinguish them as Marines. Examples of these traits are discipline, the achievement of a state of discipline, ensures respect for authority, instinct, willing obedience to orders, and the self-reliance to maintain or improve those traits which exemplify a Marine. Military bearing. Consistently demonstrate military presence and personal awareness, as well as the proper wearing and maintenance of uniform. Esprit de corps. Acquiring the common spirit of the Marine Corps that inspires enthusiasm, devotion, pride, initiative, teamwork, aggressiveness, determination, moral courage, integrity, camaraderie, and the burning desire to work with and for others towards excellence in common goals. For the Marines of Company D, today marching in at the 12th recruit training cycle. They have marched countless miles at Camp Pendleton and on this parade, and have been trained, as are all Marines, as basic riflemen. In addition, due to an intensive physical training program, their strength and endurance have doubled since their arrival aboard the recruit depot. They are Marines, qualified to take their places in the ranks of the world's finest fighting organization. The platoons are now being aligned from left to right in order to get them into their exact positions for the parade. Presentation of the colors, followed by our national anthem. Gentlemen wearing hats, please remove them in observance of our national anthem. Will the guests please rise? Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. command officers and center marchers all use commanders to guide on various march to the front and center of the formation. Historically, it was at this point that commanding officers would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Following this, the unit leaders would face it on, return to their units, and pass the information along to their Marines.
Prepare you for duty in the operating forces. When you look at the Marine Corps emblem, the eagle, globe, and anchor, remember your core values.
Now taking his position in the reviewing area is today's parade reviewing officer, Sergeant Major Gary G. Truscott, United States Marine Corps, retired. He is being accompanied by Brigadier General John M. Paxton, Commanding General, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, Western Recruiting Region, San Diego, California, and Sergeant Major Bruce A. Craig, Sergeant Major, Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, California. Sergeant Major Truscott entered the Marine Corps in April 1971 and completed recruit training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, California. Upon graduating from boot camp, he reported to the Infantry Training Regiment, Basic Infantry School at Camp Pendleton. During his tenure in the Marine Corps, he served at various posts, stations,
Come on, Dodge.
for combating conflicts around the world, including places whose names are immediately associated with Marine courage and dedication. Names such as Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Iwo Jima, Busan, Incheon, Quezon, Way City, Lebanon, Grenada, Panama, Kuwait, Somalia, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Afghanistan, and Iraq. This parade deck is rich in history and tradition, and no Marine trained here ever forgets its sight from sound.
Way to go, Keats!
All right, Keats!
He heard it.